quarter circle, 360, dragon punch, charge. Long ago, the four motions lived together in harmony. Then everything changed when the flowchart Kens attacked. Only the lab monster, master of all four motions, could stop them. But when the world needed him most, he drowned in pools. 100 weeklies passed. My brother and I finally discovered the new lab monsters. Two charge motion players named Ghoul and Saximus. And although their charge motion skills are great, they have a long way to go before they're ready to beat anyone. But I believe Ghoul and Saximus can win EVO. Would you believe me if I said that I was sober? Welcome to Charge Motion. My name is Saximus.
My name is Ghoul.
Ghoul, what have you been playing lately?
I've been playing a lot of Tekken lately. I find myself back into that because I can never escape that game. It always pulls me back in.
Same, but for Smash, and we have both Tekken and Smash to talk about.
Yeah.
So Sora is finally out. Smash Ultimate is finally done. Just like I predicted, and like a lot of other people predicted, Sora's really good. He already has infinites. We got noops.
We got the noops.
We got noops. We got foops.
Noop loops.
Noop loops. We got, which is neutral air loops and forward air loops. But just like Sakurai showed off, his combo game with neutral air and forward air is really nuts. If you get the timing on the noops correctly, you can just noop someone all the way across FD, then kill them with a powerful smash attack.
Is that like... It's hard to do though, right?
Yes, it's very precise. I think
okay.
I think it's easiest on exactly frame 8 of Sora's Nair.
Okay.
But like yeah, the Noop Box, as Why Do Bad Things Happen to Good People named it, has weak knockback but 10 extra frames of hit stun for some godforsaken reason.
Oh Jesus.
And that's before you get into his Bayonetta side B. That lets him new all
yeah, his air dash nonsense.
But he's very good. He doesn't have the very high skill floors of Steve or Kazuya, like I said, but he's a very good pick up and play character, but he's got a really high skill ceiling. I think he's a great character to end with, both thematically and mechanically. And if I could just talk to all the TOs for a bit, if there are any TOs watching, please look at me. We're legalizing Hollow Bastion, right? Like, it's gonna be legal, right? It's a great stage. It was made for us. Please legalize it. I know Northern Cave is another great stage, but that isn't legal. Like, Northern Cave, there's reasons for it, right? The stage does not contrast enough with the background, so colorblind players have a difficult time playing on it. Background gives you motion sickness. Fine, whatever. The stage is so good. It's so good. And also makes a decent case for a alternate hazards on rule set, because the stage only changes at one stock remaining with hazards on for some godforsaken. But even without that, the stage is really good. Please legalize Hollow Bastion. But yes, Sora's fun. I'm totally down for games if you want to play. If anybody watching this wants to play. I don't have too much more to say about him other than the fact that I think he was a great character to end with.
Yeah, I haven't had the opportunity to play him. But just from like seeing like the Twitter clips and stuff, he looks like a really interesting character.
Mm-hmm.
Very easy to pick up, and then a character that can sort of be optimized by strong players.
Yeah,
which I think is like the perfect formula.
I mean, he's still like a week, 2 weeks from release, so I don't think it's going to be like a Smash 4 Bayonetta situation where he completely dominates the meta and needs to get nerfed and still dominates the meta after getting nerfed.
Yeah.
But he's really good, fun to play. Good job, Sakurai. Please enjoy your break.
Please enjoy your break, Sakurai.
And then we also had new King of Fighters info, which I am not up to date on.
Yes, there's a new character. I don't have her name handy because I'm bad at research.
It's okay. Do we have a release date yet, or have they already said their release date?
I believe the release date for the game is like February.
Yeah, I think that's right.
But we did get an announcement of an open beta.
Right, that was in the PlayStation State of Play.
The State of Play, yeah.
The State of Play station.
The State of Play station.
Dolores.
Dolores, yeah, that's right, that's her name. Brand new character.
She is peak character design, by the way.
Yeah,
she looks
excellent.
Great.
Excellent character design.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like she's related to Kukri, because she has the same sort of fight with sand type of deal.
Mm-hmm.
And she's on a team with the other new character whose name escapes me, who's just a Jet Set Radio character. and Hydern.
Right.
And she's on together. The three of them are team rival, which is really interesting because all three of them are basically alternate versions of characters that already exist.
Okay.
Dolores is an alternate of Kukri, with the sand fighting style. The other character is a alternate of Shune, the new protagonist from 14, with like the summoning the red and blue hands and stuff. And Hydern is an alternate of Leona because they have the same kind of moves with like the slash moves and like the bombs and that sort of stuff.
Yeah. And according to the KOF website, we have 6 characters left that haven't been announced yet. So a 39 character launch roster from the looks of it.
That's insane.
That's really good.
There's still hope that Rock Howard's going to be in the game then.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that Rock Howard hasn't been announced yet. Nor has Geese for that.
Yeah, actually, they'll probably be announced together.
Yeah, probably. We have Terry, obviously.
Yeah, we do have Terry. So we need to be able to have Team 2 dads.
Yeah, we do need Team 2 dads.
But
yeah, no Rock, no Geese yet. I find that surprising. Maybe it'll be DLC.
Maybe it happens. Oh, did we get Whip?
I don't know.
I don't think Whip got announced either. She was a pretty popular DLC character in 14. So she might be on the bottom of that list too, one of the 6 unannounced characters. Or we could get more new characters. Who knows?
We could get more new characters. New characters are exciting.
I'm always down for new characters.
So I don't know any more info on KOF other than the open beta is coming.
Yes, on the 19th of next month. November 19th, I believe, was the date that we were given for the open beta.
Cool.
So we'll be able to play the game, and that'll be awesome, and we'll have a lot more news after that.
We can see how the rollback is.
Yeah, we can test out the rollback.
So moving on to something we don't normally talk about. I don't like discussing leaks, not just on the show, but just in general. Because as anyone who's been in the Smash community for any amount of time can tell you, a lot of them are fake.
A lot of them, yes.
Remember the Grinch leak back before Ultimate released? I remember the Grinch leak. And also, like, rumors are kind of fun to talk about in the abstract, but I don't think they make for very interesting content because they age really poorly.
Oh, yeah.
But I feel confident talking about this next thing that got leaked. If you don't want to hear about it, we'll put timestamps in the video. You can go to the section. But what leaked was a Warner Brothers crossover platform fighter. And the reason I'm talking about it is because the character select screen got leaked. We saw some of the roster, and Hungrybox made a video about it. The video got copyright claimed by Warner Brothers.
Oh,
it's legit. And the picture he tweeted got copyright claimed by Warner Brothers.
That's a little sus.
It is very safe to assume that it is legit. So it's called Warner Brothers Multiverses. It looks like it might be a free-to-play platform fighter.
Free-to-play would be sick.
Yeah, because as of today, the only fighting game that's been able to successfully use a free-to-play business model is Valhalla. And Valhalla is huge.
Unless you count Killer Instinct.
Unless you count Killer Instinct, that's true. But like the starting roster we have it looks like one original character that I certainly don't recognize, probably original to the game. Steven Universe, Batman, Harley Quinn, Finn and Jake from Adventure Time, Shaggy, Superman, Wonder Woman, Gandalf, Rick from Rick and Morty, Bugs Bunny, and Tom and Jerry.
Look at the world where Shaggy is fighting Rick Sanchez.
Like, on the one hand, all right. On the one hand, I'm exhausted with this, man. This sucks. It sucks that like 90% of popular culture is owned by like half a dozen shitty corporations, and it sucks that we get an increasingly frequent amount of media that's basically just the equivalent of smashing action figures together.
Yep. Which is, fun fact, literally what Super Smash Brothers was based on.
True. But like Smash was kind of grandfathered in.
Well, yeah. I'm saying the original Smash 64, like the character intros and stuff, the characters were toys.
Yeah, like even up to now, like lore-wise, like the characters in Smash are all like toys come to life.
Yeah.
On the one hand, like, I'm exhausted with this. This sucks. We just got Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. But on the other hand, the bright side, a lot of Ryu numbers are about to get a lot smaller. Because if you think about it, like, it's not just a DC Comics fighting game. It's not just a Cartoon Network fighting game. Like,
It's Warner Brothers.
it's Warner Brothers.
Which means the Animaniacs are going to be in it.
Which means we could get Animaniacs, because they also own Cartoon Network. We could get Mordecai and Rigby.
They're literally the Warner Brothers and the Warner sister.
Yeah. Yeah. We could get Cartoon Network, more Cartoon Network and Adult Swim characters.
Mordecai and Rigby would be sick.
That'd be really sick.
Go ahead.
So I have a couple interesting pieces of info that may or may not be cursed, depending on your perspective. The first is, apparently Warner Brothers owns exclusive publishing rights to the English dub of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh my god.
So, what was that?
Truck.
That was a loud truck.
My neighbors own a tractor trailer for some reason.
Sure. So there is a non-zero chance of being able to beat up Gandalf as Jotaro Kujo in Star Platinum. Hopefully at approximately the same time as Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl gets Goku. And apparently the parent company of Warner Brothers, which is Warner Media, one of the subsidiaries is Otter Media. Otter Media owns Rooster Teeth.
So we could get Church and Caboose?
We could get Church and Caboose. I may be able to... I might be able to punch Ruby Rose in the face.
Oh, man.
As Jake from Adventure Time.
So, on the one hand, you're absolutely right. This corporate pandering really sucks.
Yeah.
And it's like, this game is only possibly happening because of Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl.
Oh, yeah, and because Smash is over, so...
Yeah.
Like, the field for a new platform fighter is...
There's, like...
It's a free-for-all.
The success of NASB is literally the only reason anyone at Warner Brothers even thought to make this game.
I mean, this roster, like, these renders look pretty good. Like, they've clearly been working on this for a while. They probably wanted to time it until after All-Star Brawl came out and after Sora came out, but...
So, funny enough, with this whole thing leaking, I hadn't even thought of this earlier today, but there's been, I've been making content on TikTok. Follow me on TikTok.
Follow me on TikTok.
Follow him on TikTok.
I don't make a lot of content, but...
I do make a lot of content. I made a video on TikTok. There's a trend going around talking about grapplers in fighting games in FGC TikTok. And one of the trends going on is characters that aren't in fighting games that you think would be grapplers if they were put in a fighting game. And you talking about regular show made me think of this, because one of the characters that I put in my video, the first one actually, was Skips.
Skips would totally be a grappler.
Skips would absolutely be a grappler. And the fact that I made that connection and then I didn't even think about the possibility of him being in this Warner Brothers platform fighter.
Yeah.
And Skips would absolutely be a grappler.
I want to say that Jake is going to be a grappler, but like with his stretchy limbs, he's going to be a zoner. We all know he's going to be a zoner. I'm exhausted, honestly, but if you know what, if we get a good fighting game out of it, it's not going to be the worst thing.
And if it's free, I'll play it. Yeah. Right? It's not something like I didn't spend money on Nick All-Stars.
I plan to as soon as I have the money to spend on it.
Yeah. I'm not, I'm not in a rush to get it. You know what I mean? I'll wait till there's a couple patches or whatever, and I'll give it a shot. But if this game is going to be free to play, like what the rumors say, then that would be cool.
Yeah. Speaking of Nickelodeon, Thaddeus Cruz, who's one of the devs, apparently on Twitter he posted that the patch notes for the next Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl patch are going to be gigantic.
Oh, good.
Which is good. You know, like I said in previous episodes, I think it's really cool that the devs are so willing to radically change the game, even after it's already out.
And there's one thing that I really, really appreciate about the dev cycle of NASB, and it's that the netcode couldn't be fixed because the person in charge of that was on vacation.
Yes, I heard about that. That's so good.
I love that.
It's really good. Enjoy your break, dude. Seriously.
Like, unironically, fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, yes, we can wait for our video game for this person to go and enjoy time off from work that they've earned.
Yeah. And then you can fix it when he comes back.
You can fix it when you come back.
Yeah.
Like, we have all the time in the world to play this video game.
But yeah, that's all the info I know of multiverses.
Yeah, anything beyond this would just be speculation, but
yeah, and I don't find speculation particularly. Going Scoob, we got 0 to death, man.
Oh my god, I don't know how to segue into the next point from here, so we're just gonna have to do it inorganically.
More leaks. This is gonna be more in your wheelhouse.
More leaks, that's right.
This is on 4chan, and as we all know, 4chan is the most reliable source.
Yes,
for information
absolutely
on video
the
game
most.
leaks.
But it was reposted on Reddit.
That gives it so much credence.
So much more credibility.
Oh my god.
It originated on 4chan and made its way to Reddit, which is where I found it. But there were leaks. I didn't even pay attention to who made them because I don't really read into leaks that much. But there is,
and if you don't want to hear this, that's totally fine.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's totally fine too.
Let's skip to the next segment on the timestamps. But what are we talking about this right now?
Apparently Tekken 8 has been leaked.
Yes.
Like its existence and a few details about its dev process. According to this person who claims to have inside sources at Bandai Namco, specifically on the Tekken team,
they're referring to themselves as Tekken God Omega Leaker on 4chan.
I don't know if they've had a history of being a reputable leaker. I've never really paid attention to leaks before, but this one was big enough to catch my attention.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying some basically general things about how the game is going to come out. Like now not every character is going to have a power crush. And a lot of the moves are still there, but the properties are going to get changed.
Yeah.
So like they're not losing the moves that had the super armor. The properties of the moves are just going to be changed.
Yeah.
They have some info on some characters that are supposedly not going to be in.
It says that it's going to be Heihachi's last game and that Kazuya is going to replace them as the permanent big bad because Odyssey Smash has a big boost for Kazuya's popularity.
That makes a lot of sense. Also, story-wise, it makes sense to write Heihachi out of the Mishima saga.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Heihachi fans. Like, don't get me wrong. I still think... So...
He's had a great run.
Yeah. But Namco does this thing where if the character is dead in lore, they don't make them playable. And I think that's the dumbest thing ever.
That's pretty dumb.
It is pretty dumb, because what if you're like many fighting game people out there who don't even pay attention to the story mode?
Yeah, seriously.
And then suddenly your main just isn't in the next game, and you're like, well, why? And it's like, well, Heihachi died in the story mode, dude.
It's like King of Fighters. Like, it makes no goddamn sense why both Rock Howard and... it makes no goddamn sense why both Rock Howard and Geese Howard would be alive.
Yeah.
And together and playable.
Right.
But, you know, you can pick it because it's fun.
Yeah, you put him in because it's fun. I don't see Heihachi not being in Tekken anymore. They might do something weird like revive him as a Revenant or something, or they've definitely done it before.
Zombachi, a zombie.
Something, I don't know. But yeah, so Heihachi supposedly this is his last game. For one reason or another, Brian loses an eye, which I think for in Tekken 7, Hwoarang lost an eye. So I guess in Tekken 8, Brian's going to lose an eye. I don't know who's going to lose an eye in Tekken 9. I guess we'll find out.
This is super weird. This is a random tangent, but I just finished binge watching all the first season of Dimension 20, Fantasy High on College Humor. It's fucking fantastic, by the way. And one character lost an eye. I'm not going to spoil who or how. But I don't know. Everyone's losing eyes. Who needs two of them?
Who needs eyes? Eye patches look so cool. I love eye patch aesthetics, so like I'm here for it.
Wave Dash-esque movement mechanics are getting introduced to more characters. Overall movement complexity is encouraged, which is kind of surprising because Tekken 7 already has insane movement.
Okay, but here's the thing. Tekken 7 has nerfed movement a lot from previous games in the series.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Tekken 7 had almost objectively has the worst movement in the series.
Really?
Yes.
Never knew that. That's really...
There are, like, any Tekken veteran, especially people from, like, Tekken 5 and Tekken 5 DR, will tell you that Tekken 7's movement is almost the worst in the series. As far as being able to step things, like, you can't step nearly as many moves. And you can't step in nearly as many situations as you could in, like, Tag 2.
Huh. I never knew that.
Yeah, and it's... So hearing that they're bringing the emphasis back into movement is really refreshing to a lot of Tekken players.
And so much so that apparently tutorials will introduce players to Korean backdashes.
I'm thankful for that. I kind of always knew why they didn't, because Korean backdash isn't an intended mechanic.
Initially, but the fact that they've left it in for so long, because it didn't originate with Tekken 7, right?
No. Korean backdashing has been a thing since as long as Tekken 3, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, so like in every single game, they could have made it so that, Oh, you can't Korean backdash, but they let players do it anyway. So I guess it kind of is an intended mechanic at this point.
So the intended mechanic is being able to cancel movement with movement.
Okay. Okay.
And that's something that's gives Tekken its identity as
Right.
the 3D fighter that it is.
Mhm.
A sidestep, a backdash, a forward dash, none of that stuff is committal in Tekken like it is in Soul Calibur or DOA or Virtua Fighter.
Mhm.
Any movement you input with a directional input can be canceled by another directional input at any time during the animation.
Okay.
So a Korean backdash is simply canceling the end lag of your backdash animation with a crouch.
Mhm.
So you backdash, and then halfway through that animation, you input a crouch, and then stand back up and input another backdash.
Right.
So that you're not stuck in the actual end frames of the backdash animation. And that's what lets you move really fast. And that's why, if you've never played Tekken before, but you've watched it, that's why the movement looks really twitchy and fast and robotic.
Yeah.
Because the players are canceling their movement inputs with other movement inputs for opposite directions and that kind of thing.
Movement.
Schmovement.
Yeah.
So Korean backdashing is a byproduct of that system.
Okay.
So it was never a thing intended in the game like this is how you kind of like wave dashing in Melee.
Right.
It wasn't something that the devs put in intentionally. It was just something that, due to the mechanics of the game being the way that they are, players were able to do it as a byproduct.
And as the resident Smash player, I feel the need to emphasize, because people still get this wrong, wave dashing in Melee was not a goddamn glitch. It was an accidental side effect of intended game mechanics. It's not a glitch. The devs actually did know about it, but they kept it in because they didn't think it would be a very big deal.
Yep.
Also, Melee was made in like a year, so they probably didn't have time to take it out.
Another fun fact, Melee didn't invent wave dashing. Tekken did.
Yes. But Melee did lots of popularize wave.
Yes.
Anyway.
Because Smash was more popular than Tekken. Yes. But tutorial introducing those advanced movement mechanics to new players is perfect. Exactly what I want.
Yeah, because doesn't Tekken 7 not have any tutorials?
None
whatsoever.
There's some very very rudimentary, here's how you move your character, these are the attack buttons inside story mode,
and it'll show you example combos for each character, and it'll show you how to,
but you still have to go into the move list to get those.
Yeah,
there's no click on tutorial mode and here's how to play the game. There's none of that.
I wonder if they'll make frame data DLC again.
I sincerely hope not. I gave them a pass on Tekken 7 personally. I understood why people were mad that frame data costs money. I gave them a pass because technically it was an added mechanic that people had to work on.
Okay.
And so...
you mean like showing hitboxes and hurtboxes? Actually, they don't even do that.
No, they don't do that. That was a mod.
Yeah.
But adding the overlay to read frame data and that sort of thing...
That's extra work.
It's extra work. And so I want game devs to get paid for their work. So that's why I gave them... And it came with the season pass anyway, which I had already purchased, so it didn't even affect my experience.
But I think we're going off on a tangent here. Unusual, I know. But I think like the reason I heard for why a lot of Japanese fighting games don't show frame data or hitboxes, because like there's like this industry philosophy, this belief that like it's information that the player is not meant to know. I guess
that was Harada's philosophy for a very long time. They believed that the players having access to that information would make the game get solved too quickly,
which is so demonstrably false.
Oh yeah, like we've been playing Tekken for decades and that game isn't solved yet. Yeah. So
even games that let you see the frame data and the hitboxes, they're not solved.
Yeah, no, you can't solve a fighting game, at least not a decent fighting game.
Yeah. But like devs, like the information, like frame data, hitboxes, it already exists.
Just give it to us.
Let us see it, please.
We live in an age where the player wants to be informed of the mechanics.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's the standard going into Tekken 8. Some other information based on the leaks here.
Current plan roster is 24 characters. May count it down to 22. They are actively discussing whether or not to merge Jin and Devil Jin into the same character, and whether or not to include a second Jack.
I really hope they don't add a second Jack. We've had games with multiple Jacks, and it's
Damn.
like P-Jack was just not good. Like no one used him.
Lars is not returned, but maybe DLC. Gigas is cut. Katarina is cut. Shaheen is cut.
Those make sense.
Lucky Chloe is back. Fakuran is back, and is important to the story, which is cool for DLC characters.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Leah's back, and one guest character on release. I hope this is true. I hope this is true so much. Zagreus from Hades. I would pop off so goddamn hard if they added Zagreus to Tekken.
So this piece of information right here, Zagreus from Hades as a guest character in Tekken 8, it makes me think this leak is fake. Because in my brain, I cannot comprehend that information.
Well, keep in mind, in Tekken, we already have Akuma and Geese and Noctis
And
Negan.
I know, and that's why my brain is conflicted. Because my Tekken player brain is like, no, Zagreus from Hades won't go into Tekken. That doesn't make any sense. But neither does Negan.
Neither does Negan.
So
and
it's
yet,
like,
there he is.
And yet there he is. So it's entirely possible. I'm skeptical, but I'm not too skeptical.
I've played a ton of Hades. Hades is so good.
It is good.
It's so good.
It's been Harada has publicly stated how much he enjoys the game.
Yeah.
So if you're Supergiant Games and Katsuhiro Harada walks up to you and says, "Hey, we'd like to use your character for fucking Tekken."
Yeah, seriously.
What are you gonna say?
I mean, just from all the weapons Zagreus has, like my initial knee-jerk reaction would be like, I think it would be better fit for Soul Calibur. You know what? If he's a Tekken, I'm down. I'm not complaining.
I mean, it's another Noctis situation.
Yeah.
Where Noctis would have absolutely been a better pick for Soul Calibur due to his weapon mechanics. And I have a feeling he's going to end up Zagreus would end up working in a very similar way.
Yeah. It says Harada loves the game and is using some of Nox's attacks as a...
Yeah.
That makes sense.
There is one thing on this list that I find incredibly interesting. A new clinching mechanic.
Somewhat... Oh, I scrolled down by accident. Somewhat similar to the clashing in Soul Calibur 6 that gives characters more grappling options. They are not sure how it controls, but characters will have unique options in clinches for strikes, takedowns like trips, and...
etc.
etc.
So what I'm thinking that my brain is formulating this, because when I think clinching and Tekken, I think Bruce Irving, because he actually has a clinch command grab that he has like mix-up options out of, so he can like do knees and punches, and you have to try to guess what he's doing to escape it.
Yeah.
So my guess it's going to be something kind of similar to that, but what my brain is formulating just now with that comparison to Soul Calibur is that it's going to kind of be like the reversal edge system, where you'll have some sort of universal defensive mechanic, or maybe some sort of move or attack that'll either have armor or a parry built into it or something. And if you hit your opponent with this mechanic, whatever it might be, it'll activate a rock, paper, scissors minigame, essentially. If you're familiar with Soul Calibur, that's exactly how Reversal Edge works.
I'm getting also flashbacks to some of the Dragon Ball Z fighting games.
Yes. Very similar to that, which Bandai Namco made most of those.
Right. Yeah.
So that does make sense. I'm conflicted on this. Again, this is only me speculating. So take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. And this is also a leak. So I'm speculating on speculation.
Yeah, like this is on 4chan. Like literally anybody can post anything on the internet.
Right. So don't get too worked up about what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because I just want to speculate on this information because I think it's fun. I think it'll end up being very similar to Reversal Edge from Soul Calibur or Shield from Melty Blood, where it's a universal defensive mechanic that makes it so that you can escape guessing situations, and then you end up playing rock, paper, scissors with your opponent.
Right.
So, like, you hit this mechanic, you enter a clinch, and then you and your opponent both pick an option, and whoever's option wins, they get a reward.
Okay.
That's what I assume that this would be, but again, I have no idea. The leaker even said they have no idea how it controls. So this is literally just a guess about a guess.
I'm totally okay with sequels adding new mechanics or changing stuff compared to the previous game, because even if it sucks, the previous game still exists.
Right.
You can always go back and play it.
Right. And people will.
Yeah. And looks like for other information, it is safe to assume that the guest characters are not coming back because they say guest characters don't get reused in almost any fighting game, which is sadly true.
It's pretty true, yeah.
Smash is the outlier, obviously.
I'd actually be a little bit surprised if Akuma doesn't come back, because he was written into the story.
That's true, yeah. It says Akuma was in because of Tekken vs. Street Fighter's development, which is for all intents and purposes canceled. Geese is in because KOF's Resurgence, Noctis for the cross promotional, and then
Negan.
Okay. Zagreus is going to be in Tekken 8 with Jin, who was in Project X Zone with Ryu.
So that gives Zagreus a Ryu number of 2?
That if this is true, would give Zagreus a Ryu number of 2. Also, obviously, Tekken versus Street Fighter. But
yeah.
Also, Harada, if you are watching, please put Dana Zane from Valhalla in. The devs have already given you permission.
She would be so cool.
She would be so cool. All right, so
also put in Tifa.
Also put in Tifa. Yes, please. Like you already have Noctis, right? You know, why not put in Tifa? Like, she'd be a perfect fit. But like Dana Zane, like the character from Valhalla, the visual novel, like the developers like have outright given Harada permission years ago.
She looks like a Tekken character.
She looks like a Tekken character. She'd be perfect.
Isn't her armor actually based on the Tekken Force?
Well, she has a robotic arm.
Oh, yeah.
And like lore-wise, I think she was a wrestler at one point, and then there is official artwork of her dressed as a wrestler. Like, so good. Please.
But yeah, so there's some interesting stuff in this leak. Like, Lars not being in the game is actually kind of strange to me.
That's kind of weird.
I really hope they don't do that thing where they put him in story mode but don't make him playable, like Mortal Kombat did twice.
Not with Lars, obviously.
Not with Lars, but they've done it. Baraka was in story mode of MKX and unplayable. And Reptile's in story mode of MK11 and not playable. But anyway, we're not talking about that game right now.
Lydia's returning, which I'm totally down with.
That makes total sense.
Yeah, I think she's a super cool character.
It's really safe to assume that Lydia, Leroy, and Fakumram will be coming back, because it's pretty common knowledge that those are Tekken 8 prototype characters.
Yeah. Kind of like how, what's his face, Luke is going to be the main character of Street Fighter 6.
Yeah.
They say the leaker says announcement is going to come in spring, but there's no release date yet, and they estimate early 2023.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
That does make sense. The other thing that adds to possibly the validity of this leak is that Tekken just released that Legendary Edition package.
Yeah, with new box art and everything.
Yeah, there's new box art. It only includes 8 of the what, 15 DLC characters now?
Yeah, seriously. I'm pulling it up right now.
Yeah, so 8 characters is seasons 1 and 2.
Yeah, it looks like they have Armor King, Fakumram, Julia, Lei, Kunimitsu. Can't see who else in the zone.
That's Zafina, Ganryu, Marduk.
What's?
Yeah, from left to right. That's Armor King, Anna, Marduk, Julia, Lei, Zafina, Ganryu, and Kunimitsu.
Right, I was wrong about Fakumram.
Which is weird, because they're not even from the same season passes. Not all of them.
Yeah, there's no Geese. There's no Eliza, who... she's technically a DLC.
She is, but she's not on any of the season passes. She was a pre-order bonus character.
So she's Tekken 7's version of Piranha Plant.
Yes.
Okay.
So Armor King, Anna... If I'm remembering correctly, Armor King, Anna, Marduk, Julia, and Lei were 5 of the 6 characters in Season 2.
And the last one was Geese. No, Geese was Season 1.
Geese was Season 1, along with Noctis.
Okay.
Geese and Noctis were Season 1.
Okay.
But the Season 2 pass had 6 characters in it. And I believe Negan was the 6th one.
You know what? We have technology. We can find this out.
We do have technology, but my Tekken player brain is trying to remember it all. And then if I'm not mistaken, Zafina, Ganryu...
Kunimitsu.
No, I believe Kunimitsu was Season 4.
Right.
Zafina, Ganryu, and Leroy were season 3.
Um,
And Fakumram
and
were
Bakuran.
season 3. And then Lydia and Kunimitsu were season 4.
Yes. And we were talking earlier, and you said, and I agree, that this release gives big new announcement coming soon vibes.
Yeah. Especially since you're getting the base game and 8 of the DLC characters for €30, which is what, like $27?
Something like that. This was, I'm looking at the post on the European and Bandai Namco account. So.
Yeah, so it's probably somewhere around like 25 USD.
That's a really good price, honestly. Game's good.
Or would it be more expensive? Hold on, what's €30?
Hold on.
I'm not good at currency.
€30 to USD. Fix your Wi-Fi, dude.
I would love to.
But anyway, that's coming out. We will find out soon.
Either way, it's a cheap price for that much content.
Yes.
So it gives off very big. This is the final edition before we announce the new game. Buy this to get ready for the Tekken 8 announcement.
I think that's kind of all we had with $34.80.
Okay, so $35 US.
Yeah.
Sorry, it goes the other way.
Yeah. I think that's all we had involves leaks. And again, take all of what we're saying with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Except for the Warner Brothers stuff. Pretty safe to assume that's legit.
And except for the Tekken Legendary Edition, that was actually announced.
That was actually announced. Yeah.
But all of the Tekken 8 stuff, that's all speculation. So don't take it too seriously.
So moving on to community news. In a plot twist, if you had this on your 2021 bingo card, no, you didn't. You're a liar. Pokimane, Twitch streamer Pokimane now co-owns EVO.
Yeah. So Pokimane, who, if you're not familiar with Pokimane, yes, you are. She's one of the biggest streamers like ever, and
you at least know of her.
Yeah. She now co-founds a company called RTS, which is like a management company essentially.
Yeah. And RTS co-owns EVO
alongside Sony.
Yeah.
So Pokimane co-owns the company that co-owns EVO.
I don't know what to think of this.
I don't know. So here's how I feel, right? EVO has been on a very steady decline since 2019.
Yeah.
EVO has been on a very, very steady decline.
I don't want to get into the big reasons why.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk about that.
Sony purchased EVO and didn't do much to help. EVO Online for 2020 and 2021.
Well, EVO Online for 2020 was canceled.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're right. So EVO Online 2021 was held with very little marketing and not a whole lot of interest, really.
Yeah.
And is that entirely Sony's fault? No. Well, the marketing is, but the interest isn't.
Pandemic's still happening. So obviously it's still not safe to have an event of that massive scale and size.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But anyway, my thought process is either Pokimane is going to do an awesome job and bring back EVO to some form of its former glory.
Yeah.
I don't think EVO will ever be what it was.
No, but I also don't think that it needs.
No.
There are other majors that can fill the void. Combo Breaker, Genesis, CEO.
Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't need to be just EVO.
Right. But so either Pokimane is going to do an awesome job and she's going to restore some relevance to the EVO brand, or
the trend is going to continue.
The trend is going to continue, and it's nothing different for us anyway. EVO stays dead.
Which is, it's heartbreaking, because, like, it's EVO. It's the biggest fighting game event of the year, and I've never been, and I would love to go, but I'm poor.
Also, with EVO being, if EVO dies forever, no one will ever beat Justin Wong's record.
Yeah.
With 9 EVO victories.
We never did get that MVC2 invitational.
No, we didn't. And that's a damn shame. Hashtag free MVC2.
Hashtag free MVC2. But anyway, like, like Pokimane's literally made her career off of gaming and off of streaming. Like, she gets it,
She understands gamers.
She understands.
She is
gamers.
one.
She is one. Yeah. I'm optimistic. I think she's gonna do a pretty okay job.
I couldn't think, like, if you had asked me yesterday, what do you think would save EVO? I wouldn't have known what to tell you. But I think Pokimane might be able to do it.
Yeah, for real.
So here's to hoping.
Here's to hoping.
Pokimane, if you end up watching this, first of all, thank you. Second of all, I have faith in you.
I have faith in you. Also, let us commentate EVO.
Yes, do that.
Because we want to go. We can't afford it. And also, the pandemic's not over, so it's not happening yet, as far as we know. Anyway, and for the last bit of news, we don't comment a lot on FGC beef because it's just exhausting. It's a lot of it. It's also a lot of it is in communities and games that I don't personally care about. But biggest issue is there's going to be a Guilty Gear Invitational. What's it called again?
That's what I'm trying to find right now. I don't know. There's a Guilty Gear Strive Invitational going on, and SonicFox got invited. Now, it's pretty standard fare for SonicFox to be invited to an invitational for a game that they play.
Yeah. I mean, they're SonicFox.
Right. But the Guilty Gear community is a little upset because SonicFox has come out and said publicly that they're just not enjoying the game.
Yeah. And that's fair.
And that's fair.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you don't ever get to compete, right?
Yeah, seriously. The fact of the matter is, like, even if they, have publicly said they don't like Guilty Gear, they're still really goddamn good at Guilty Gear.
Yeah, they're still fantastic at Guilty Gear. They're still going to provide incredibly high-level play, and they're going to draw a lot of eyes.
Yeah.
The fact that you're upset about SonicFox being invited is, I think that's the announcement.
Yes.
Oh, it's Red Bull Gaming.
It is Red Bull Gaming,
okay.
Yes. Second invited Guilty Gear Strive competitor, Red Bull Kumite in Las Vegas, is a multi-game champion, welcoming SonicFox. I don't know how many other people that they could invite. SonicFox is going to crush it. That's what they do.
They're at least going to place well.
Yeah.
I don't know who else got invited. I do know who didn't get invited, though. And this is the piece of the drama that's a little interesting to me.
Yeah.
Hotashi, who is the current Guilty Gear Strive EVO champion, wasn't invited.
Yeah.
And to me, that's a little weird.
Didn't SonicFox come in second in EVO for Strive? I think they did.
I don't remember that off the top of my head. I believe so.
I was just searching SonicFox Guilty Gear, and I saw the results from EVO.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hotashi did not get invited.
And that's a little weird to me. I think, like, the EVO champ should be invited, right? I mean, maybe that's just more speaking to how EVO has lost its relevance as a brand. To where being the EVO champion doesn't get you invited to Red Bull tournaments anymore.
Oh, man.
But I think that, I mean, obviously Hotashi deserves to go because they're an excellent player.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, invitationals always have drama around them.
Mm-hmm.
And don't get me wrong, I'm a huge proponent of invitationals because I think that that's the best way to get eyes on the best talent for the game. And it helps give pro players their spotlight. But there's always drama around who gets to go and who doesn't.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
And if nothing else, like, this is good publicity, right?
Yeah. I mean, no publicity is bad publicity, right?
Like, love them or hate them, like, everyone knows who SonicFox is. I happen to be in the love them camp, but...
Same.
People are gonna pay attention to the Red Bull Kumite if they know that SonicFox is gonna be there, so...
Absolutely. So there's no reason not to invite SonicFox.
Yeah. I don't know. I honestly don't have that much more to say about.
I don't either. I mean, it's one of those things that it's like, you didn't get invited, there's always the next one.
November 13th to 14th at Caesar's Palace in Vegas. It's not just Guilty Gear, it's also Street Fighter 5 and Tekken 7. That's interesting.
That is interesting.
And I think Street Fighter and Tekken are going to be in person.
That's cool. Offline games are always hype.
They are hype.
Hopefully they're done safely, which I believe Red Bull has been good about that.
I heard that too. Pandemic's not over.
Pandemic is not over.
Yeah, it says you will need to be in person to compete for the LCQ Last Chance qualifier tournaments for Street Fighter 5 and
And Tekken
7.
7.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Actually, I think it looks like they're all in person.
Cool. Offline games are awesome.
Twitch.tv/Red Bull. And yeah, I don't have a whole lot more to say about that.
But yeah, it's one of those things that like you don't have to go and being mean to people over who got invited and who didn't.
And when all else fails, don't run your mouth. Run the set.
That's facts. That is absolute facts. But yeah, I don't have much more to add to that.
I was telling Ghoul a few days ago. I think it's super interesting how the day we're finally back on a regular upload schedule. It's the day when there's so few concrete news in the fighting game community.
All of the news that we just talked about piled onto our desk in one day.
Seriously. Yeah, like, all right, well, Sora's coming out. Shit, what else? And then we learn about the Tekken stuff and the Warner Brothers stuff.
I mean, yeah, half the show is talking about leaks, and we don't even like doing that.
We don't even like doing that, but it we considered it interesting enough to be worth talking about.
Oh, just to fit it in there, I feel like I'm contractually obligated. Play Skullgirls.
Yeah, I have to mention it once. Play Skullgirls, and also play Rivals of Aether. I can't believe we didn't mention it in the last episode. But the rollback beta is live on Steam.
Oh, neat.
Yes,
I'll have to check that out.
Apparently they made a lot of improvements. So play Skullgirls and Rivals of Aether.
Play Skullgirls and play Rivals of Aether. They both go on sale all the time.
Actually, Rivals of Aether is on sale right now on Steam.
Wow, yeah.
I think it and all the DLC, which at this point is, I think, just costumes and stage skins, 50% off until November 1st.
Do it.
For the Halloween sale.
If you like platform fighters, Rivals of Aether is an awesome one.
And I would be astonished if Skullgirls wasn't also on sale. I can check that right now because I have Steam open. I mean, it's a spooky game.
It is a little spooky,
spooky season.
It's called Skullgirls.
Yeah. If my computer could work, that would be cool and good. But yes, play fighting games.
Play fighting games that you like.
Yes.
And try new fighting games.
Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much all I have.
Yeah, me too.
Hit the lab. Good fight, good night. Oink scoop. Fucking, I hate capitalism.